Here is a handwritten animation. I want to show you how to simply create this in SwiftUI. You can create this animation in any language. The default is English, that is left to right language. Here is also the same SwiftUI animation preview in a right to left language, that is Arabic. We have the animation in Chinese as well. So here is the Chinese preview. We have a Spanish version. There is Finnish version, as well as Korean version. So let's look at how to create the animation simply in SwiftUI for both left to right languages. The default is English. And also apply the SwiftUI animation to a right to left language, like Arabic. To create a handwritten animation in SwiftUI in your language, you need only one SwiftUI modifier. That is the trim modifier. Let's visit the Apple docs to see how the trim modifier works. You have noticed here, it has two properties, the start fraction and end fraction. So to build the animation, you need a SwiftUI path. A path in SwiftUI is a standard SwiftUI view. So here is an example path. So we have the trim modifier attached to the path with these two properties, from and to. The from property is the same as the start fraction. The to parameter is the end fraction. That is where the path is drawn from. And the to property is the end fraction. So let's copy this path and preview it to see how it looks. I'll go to the Xcode project and add a new file to the project. I will control-click this directory and select the option New File from Template. We will leave the option as a SwiftUI view. Let's call it Trim Example. Since the path I just copied is a standard SwiftUI view, we can replace the text here with that. That will go to the top left corner of the screen because the path uses the default iOS coordinate system, that is 0, 0. We can move the path to the center of the screen with an offset or using position. However, that is not what we want to do in this video. For the parameters of the trim modifier, by default, the from value is 0.0 and the to value is 1.0. If you do that, you will have a complete shape like this. If I undo the change, now we have 1/4 of the rectangle on the left. Let's change this one to 0 and change this to 0.75. You have noticed we have the opposite. So whenever you want a view in SwiftUI to draw and erase itself, you need to use the trim modifier by adjusting the from and the to parameters. For each of the animations I showed you, we have a well-crafted handwritten text. So you can, for example, go to Figma and create one. However, we are going to use this one. You can go to the Figma community and search for official Apple Hello lettering. Over here, you have noticed we have it in all these languages. So I'll select this one and zoom in. What you need is the original path. So you can either select the group or select this one, control-click it, and choose the option Copy Paste As, and copy the letter as SVG. So once you copy any of these as SVG, what you need to do is to also convert the SVG to SwiftUI path. That is very easy using a model like Opus 5 or GPT 5.6. You can also use this online SVG to SwiftUI converter. So I'll go back to the Figma project and select the Dutch version. I will control-click it and choose the option Copy Paste As and select SVG. Then I'll come here and paste it here. You'll find a link in the description of the video. So all you need to do is to go to the top right and click Convert and Copy. The project is also available on GitHub, so let's open that. You can find a link to this GitHub repo also in the description of the video. So over here, we have the SwiftUI path we need to create the animation. So once you copy this to the SwiftUI project, you'll be able to build the animation simply using Face Animator. So I'll go back to the Xcode project and show you one of the examples. That is the default in English. Over here, we have the same path I showed you, I used the online SVG to SwiftUI converter I just showed you. So I embedded the SwiftUI path in a face animator view. So over here you have seen we have the same path, that is this one. Inside the face animator view, we add two conditions for the face animator faces, that is true and false, and define a variable to create the animation. So with the trim modifier, we have the start fraction set to the default, that is 0.0. So we are not animating that at all. We are only using the animation variable to animate the end fraction. So we use it along with ternary conditional operation to animate the text to draw from 0 to 1. That is the default. So when the true value is 1, the text is visible. And when it is 0, it is invisible. So if we change these values, let's see where it draws from. I'll change this to 1. We are now erasing it completely. I will undo the change. So this is how everything is set up in all the different languages. Once you create the animation this way with Face Animator, you will have a repeating animation that looks like this. What you can do next is to use the animation closure to customize the animation. So over here you have noticed we are using ease in out with a duration of 4 and preventing the animation to auto reverse. The Arabic version is also similar to what I just showed you. Although this draws from right to left, you have noticed here we are animating it in the same way as the English version. I have uploaded this project to GitHub, so if you want to try it yourself, you'll find a link in the description of the video. I will add all the remaining languages I showed you in the Figma document. So you can check the project on GitHub, copy any of the path, and use it to create any handwritten animation you want, like this one in Chinese.